Hi, this is Barry here, and you're very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled 3 Things You'll Discover When You Unsubscribe from 99% of Your Emails. Now, this was something I had done recently. Now, if you are already on my list, or you've been reading some of the content on the WriteCome blog, you'll know that recently I just unsubscribed from the majority of the emails in my inbox. Now I did that with a tool that you can find online called unrollme.com. So that is unroll.me. Now, if you go over to that website, what you can do is you can link it to your email inbox, or in some way like that. It's connected to the content that goes into your inbox, and basically what it will do is it will give you the full list of all the lists that you have subscribed to, all the different email lists. And there's probably a lot of that content that you probably signed up to a long time ago and you forgot that you're actually still on that list. But once you go over there, you can basically just unsubscribe from all that mess in one go. So for example, at the time when I went over there to do it, I think I found out that I was on 140 email lists. Now, as you can probably well imagine, being on 140 email lists means that you're getting a lot of content in your inbox, and sometimes, you can't keep up with it. The majority of times, even though, you might have a little bit of time, you probably only go through maybe 10 or 20%. You'd be kind of picking and choosing from the content that you're going through it. And, while that was okay for a while, I said to myself one day, why am I doing this? When it feels like, when you clear out your inbox, it feels like it's an accomplishment, like you've done something constructive, but basically you haven't. Like, it's just like kind of, collecting the mail at the mailbox and just kind of looking through all the envelopes and just ripping them up and throwing them in the bin. And, you don't get any kind of sense of accomplishment from that. You haven't done anything. In fact, it's been a total waste of your time. That half an hour that you had to go through Gmail or whatever it is, ticking the little box and then hitting the delete button, was time that you could have probably spent doing something else. And that was what I wised up to it. Even though I am somebody who is a big lover of sending email, I love writing emails, I love mailing my list. I'm always mailing daily, sometimes maybe twice. And so I am somebody who is a big lover of email, and yet I'm probably a paradox in that I hate receiving emails because I find them too distracting. I find that the majority of them are badly written, and a lot of people treat email like a booty call. They treat it as, come on, buying this stuff now, I've got this thing, and then I don't hear from that person maybe for 6 months time. Now the kind of the kind of email guidelines, or the way I do my emails, is basically I build relationship with my people on my list. They get to know me, I get to know them, and I'm not somebody who will email them just when I have a new product out. I'm emailing them every day, so they find out a little bit more about me, what goes on in my life, and because of that, I'm building a relationship with my list. But compared to all the other people who I find, or that used to be in my email inbox, they just treated it like a booty call. They would just turn up when they had something to sell, and I wouldn't hear from them then for another 6 months. And in some cases, I would be going through my inbox and I'd be thinking, I don't remember this fella. Did I ever sign up? Or is this a spam email? Or how did it end up in my inbox? So, as I said earlier, I just went over to Unroll Me and I basically unsubscribed from those 140 lists. Now, as you probably can tell, when you do unsubscribe from that many lists, your inbox, it basically drops to zero. In some cases, I might get maybe 1 or 2 emails coming in. And, although for a while you will have that, like a Pavlov thing where you're constantly racing to the inbox. If you hear a ping, or you look and see a number pop up and a notification or something like that, you're racing over to the inbox to see, oh, what's in the inbox, what's somebody sending me. And for a couple of days afterwards, I used to do that too, and I used to go over and I used to see 0 emails, and I might go back maybe an hour later with 0 emails. And I was still in the habit of constantly checking my emails, sitting on the couch or watching TV or, doing all these different things. And then that was another thing I had to, to wean myself off. And maybe you're the same way too. Maybe as soon as you get a notification that's telling you you've got an email, you just drop everything and you run over to see what somebody sent you. And then when you open up the email, it's majority of times it's a big disappointment. Maybe it's some offer or something that is junk. You're never gonna. You just kind of close it away. And like, it's crazy when you do think about it. Like, it's not like you would ever see the mailman come into your mailbox and just go racing to the mailbox and rip open the envelope to see what it is, or hang out the window just to see the mailman coming. Where's the mailman coming? Is the mailman coming? And yet the majority of us do that with the inbox. We're constantly just waiting on edge, saying, oh God, what's coming in the inbox today? Is it something good? Is it something good? And, it's funny, we're like that kind of little terrier or something who's kind of running around all excited because something's gone into the mailbox. And, when you think about it, you say to yourself, why am I like that? That's so crazy. So, as I said, I unsubscribed from 140 lists. And because of that, I learned 3 things, and you probably will find the same too as well. Now, the first thing I found was that the world doesn't fall out of its orbit. When you open some of them emails, it's kind of, if you don't buy this software in the next 24 hours, you're going to be so far behind. Your competition is going to be so far ahead of you. It's got a one-off offer. You're never going to find it again. Get it now for $97. And then probably come January 1st or Black Friday, the same people are going to be selling it off maybe for $7 or something like that. So like, you're not going to miss out on anything. And the fact that, if it was really that good, eventually you would hear about it. Somebody would get word to you and say, well, you really should know about this software. It's really, really great. But for a lot of people, in the email inbox, it's, you've got to buy this. You've got to buy this now because it's going to turn your life around. It's going to it's going to double your business. It's going to do this and do that. Majority of times it doesn't. And, you not knowing about that, it's not going to make any difference in your life. The world is going to continue on. Trump's always going to do something stupid or whatever it is. There's something always going to go on in the world. But the fact that you haven't opened that email or, that you have unsubscribed from that list isn't going to make any difference at all. So, to unsubscribe, you're going to miss nothing. The world is going to continue on. Your business is going to do what it's going to do. And, if you don't get that piece of software or you don't get that special ebook, if it's good enough, it's going to find a way to you eventually. You're going to find the knowledge one way or another. So, don't think you're going to lose out. You're missing out by doing that. And that was one of the first things I found. Another thing then I found too was you're going to have more money in your pocket. If you think about it, like if you're getting offers in every day, like I said earlier, those booty called emails, maybe with a little bit of kind of copywriting or something like that, it's going to convince you just to rush and get your credit card and say, God, I really need that software. He's saying it, that I really need it. And, it sounds like it's going to turn my life around. It's going to double my business. And you're going to find that you're probably going to buy stuff that you're never going to use. If I go back to the Warrior Forum or if I go over to JV Zoo and go back through all the purchases I made in the past, if I still use 10% of all those purchases, I'd be very surprised if it's even 10% of all those purchases, because at the time, I got so excited by a sales letter or something like that coming from an email. I bought the stuff, never used it. Or the fact is maybe that the information in that was just, it would work for 5 minutes and then doesn't work anymore. So you're going to find by unsubscribing, you're going to be missing out on all those offers. You're going to be missing out on all that kind of, all the copywriting and all the different kind of persuasion tactics that they use, and you kind of, buy it now, it's never going to be sold again, and you're going to be purchasing stuff you don't need and you're never going to need. So, by unsubscribing from all those lists, you're going to have more money in your pocket. Now, when I look back, this past month on the purchases I've made, I think I've only paid for my hosting, I've paid for my autoresponder, and I think maybe one more purchase, and that has been the height of it this month. Whereas, the weeks and the months before that, I could have been buying maybe one product a week or maybe 2 a week. In the early days, I was buying stuff I couldn't even afford because I was just being convinced that these things were going to change my life completely. And now that I have unsubscribed from these lists, I'm not distracted. I can concentrate on my own work, and I don't have those offers coming in, so I'm not purchasing them, so I have more money in my pocket. Now, the final thing then too I discovered was, you appreciate what goes into your head, or you appreciate the people that you're mixing around with. When you clean out that email inbox, there's probably there's some people that you will keep following, maybe because you like their emails, give good content. They're not giving you kind of sending out booty call emails every only when they've got a sale or whatever. But you know the people, they write to you regularly, you know a little bit about them. They're not the kind of person that turns up in 6 months time and then disappears again when they've got something else to sell. They're constantly there, and you're going to find that when you're unsubscribing, if you do maybe keep maybe a handful of those people, that is going to be the height of it. But these are the people that are going to be coming into your inbox regularly, because you've just cleared out all the crap and all the people that you don't follow. And you're going to find, once you do that with your inbox, it's going to make you think about the other places that you're hanging out in, all the social media platforms. Again, you're getting all the same crap coming every day. People are giving you offers all the time. They're, manipulating you somewhere or another, or they're using some persuasion techniques to get you to go over to this website or to watch this video of this cat thing or this amazing viral thing or whatever. And when you clean out your inbox by doing that, it kind of it goes over into other places as well. You kind of say to yourself, well, do I really, as people that I'm following on this platform, are they really adding anything to my life? Are they just causing me distraction by sending me offers, by sending me junk I don't need? And do I really know them? And again, like the lists that you're going to stay with, there's going to be people on social media that who give good content, who you like, who you have a relationship with. And you're going to find that you're actually going to filter out all the kind of junk and all the crap on those platforms as well too. And let's be honest, a majority of those social media sites, you have people who are posting content on what they had for their meal today, that they cycled 10 miles out in the countryside and they're totally exhausted, and they're putting stuff up like that. And you are reading that, but is that actually adding anything to your life? It's just a kind of distraction, because a lot of these people think, well, I need to they're putting that up in some way to think that people actually care. But in the majority of cases, personally speaking, I'm married, and the majority of things I do, my wife does not care about. So the fact that I would go over to social media, go to Facebook, go here or go there, and post content on this wonderful meal I had in a restaurant, or I did this right out in the countryside, half the time, if my wife doesn't even care, I can't expect somebody on the other side of the world to care. And as I said, when you clear out your inbox, you are going to be more selective in the people that you're going to be following on social media. In some cases, I might actually put you off social media, because you'll just see it for what it is, which is it's just a distraction that is keeping you from the work that you should be doing, that the writing you should be doing, the publishing or whatever it is. And you're going to see for what it is. And in some cases, you'll walk away from it. I've never, I hardly ever use any of the social media platforms, because they're just a total waste of time and they aren't doing anything for me. In fact, they're actually holding me back and stopping me from producing content that I should be producing. So those are the 3 things that I discovered from unsubscribing from those email lists. I have more money in my pocket. I have cleaned up my social media, so I'm not, being distracted by all that. And finally, the world isn't going to fall out of its orbit if you do unsubscribe, even though all those people may tell you that it will, or you're going to miss out on fantastic offers. Life goes on. As I said, if it's going to be good, you're going to find a way to it eventually. You're going to find that product, or you're going to read a book that you were supposed to read to get you further in your business. So, I thank you for sharing your time with me again today. I hope you've learned a few things from this, and I hope you've learned from the experience that I have had. Now, if you do see a couple of social media buttons, even though I am not somebody who is big in social media, like I said earlier, but I do appreciate anybody sharing my content on their platforms or sharing it with their lists. So if you find this helpful, if you do see a couple of social media buttons close by, just click a few of them and share the content. Now, if you'd like to know more about me, or you'd like to know more about the WriteCome podcast or the content that I am regularly pumping out, if you come over to WriteCome.com, that's WriteCome.com, you'll find me over there. So again, as I said earlier, thanks for sharing your time with me again today, and take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.